Mary. We are going to finish up Leviticus. We are going to be reading chapters 21 through 27, I believe, is the ending. And that will put us somewhat back on target as far as what I had written out as an original, how we were reading through. For those of you who are not familiar with what Bible I'm using, it is the Interlinear Bible, which is the Hebrew in the Aramaic translation of the Old Testament. Now, for those of you who do not know, at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, we go to Lighting the Way Ministry. So I'm going to get right into our reading. God bless you. Chapter 21 of Leviticus. And Jehovah said to Moses, Speak to the priest, Aaron's sons, and you shall say to them, None shall be defiled for the dead among his people, but for his relative who is near to him, for his mother, and for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother, and for his sister, the virgin who is near to him, who has not been with a man, for her he may be defiled. A leader shall not defile himself among his people, to pollute himself. They shall not make their heads bald, and they shall not shave the edge of their beard, and they shall not make a cutting in their flesh. They are holy to their God, and they shall not pollute the name of their God, for they offer the fire offerings of Jehovah, bread of their God, and they are holy. They shall not take a woman who is a harlot or polluted, nor shall they take a woman put away from her husband, for he is holy to his God. And you shall sanctify him, for he brings near the bread of your God. He is holy to you, for I, Jehovah, am holy, who is sanctifying you. And when a daughter of any priest pollutes herself by going whoring, she is polluting her father. She shall be burned with fire. And the high priest of his brothers, on whose head the anointing oil is poured, and whose hand is consecrated to put on the garments, his head shall not be covered, nor his garments torn, nor shall he come near any dead person. He shall not defile himself for his father or for his mother, nor shall he go out from the sanctuary, nor shall he pollute the sanctuary of his God. For the separation of the anointing oil of his God is on him. I am Jehovah. And he shall take a wife in her virginity. He shall not take a widow, or one put away, or a polluted one, a harlot, but he shall take a virgin of his own people for a wife. And he shall not pollute his seed among his people, for I am Jehovah, who sanctifies him. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron, saying, No man of your seed throughout their generations shall draw near to offer the bread of his God, if there is a blemish in him. For no man in whom there is a blemish shall draw near, a blind man, or one lame, or disfigured, or deformed, or broken-footed man, a broken-handed man, or one humped back, or a crushed one, or with a spot in his eye, or a scurvy or scabbed person, or one with crushed testicles. No man of the seed of Aaron the priest, in whom there is a blemish, shall come near to offer the fire offerings of Jehovah. A blemish is in him. He shall not come near to offer the bread of his God. He shall eat of the bread of his God, of the most holy things, and of the holy things, but he shall not enter into the veil, and he shall not draw near to the altar, for a blemish is in him. And he shall not pollute my sanctuary, for I am Jehovah, who sanctifies them. And Moses spoke to Aaron and to his sons, and to all the sons of Israel. Chapter 22 of Leviticus. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and to his sons, that they set themselves apart from the holy things of the sons of Israel, and that they do not profane my holy name in what they devote to me. I am Jehovah. Say to them, Out of all your seed throughout your generations, any man who draws near to the holy things, which the sons of Israel set apart to Jehovah, and his uncleanness being upon him, that person shall be cut off from before me. I am Jehovah. Any man of the seed of Aaron that is leprous or has an issue, he shall not eat of the holy things until he is clean. And he who touches any uncleanness of a person or a man, whose semen has gone out of him, or a man who touches any swarming thing which is unclean to him, or touches a man who is unclean to him, by any of his uncleanness the person who touches it shall even be unclean until the evening, and shall not eat of the holy things, but shall bathe his flesh with water. And when the sun goes in, he shall be clean, and afterwards he shall eat of the holy things, for it is his food. He shall not eat a dead body or torn thing, for it is unclean. I am Jehovah. And they shall keep my charge, and shall bear no sin for it, that they may not die for it when they pollute it. I am Jehovah, who is sanctifying them. And no stranger shall eat of the holy things. A tenant of a priest or a hired servant shall not eat of the holy thing. And if a priest buys a person the purchase of his silver, he shall eat of it. Also one born in his house, they shall eat of his bread. And a priest's daughter, when she belongs to an alien man, she shall not eat of the heave offering of the holy things. But a priest's daughter, when she is a widow or put away, and has no seed, and is turned back to her father's house, as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's bread. But no stranger shall eat of it. And if a man shall eat of a holy thing through ignorance, then he shall add the fifth part of it, and shall give it to the priest along with the holy thing. And they shall not pollute the holy things of the sons of Israel, that which they lift up to Jehovah, and so cause them to bear iniquity of the guilt offering in their eating their holy things. For I am Jehovah who sanctifies them. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and to his sons, and to all the sons of Israel. And you shall say to them, Any man of the house of Israel, or of the aliens in Israel, who brings near his offering of all his vows, or of all his freewill offerings, which they bring near to Jehovah for a burnt offering, at your own will, a male, a perfect one, of the oxen, of the sheep, or of the goats may be offered. You shall not offer that which has a blemish, for it shall not be accepted for you. And when a man brings near a sacrifice of peace offerings to Jehovah, to complete a vow or for a freewill offering, of the herd or of the flock, it shall be perfect to be accepted. No blemish shall be in it, blind or broken or maimed or having a running sore, or scurvy or scabbed. You shall not bring these near to Jehovah, and you shall not make of them a fire offering on the altar to Jehovah, as an ox or a sheep deformed or dwarfed. You shall make it a freewill offering, but it is not acceptable for a vow. As to anything bruised or beaten or enlarged or anything cut, you shall not bring it near to Jehovah. Even you shall not do it in your land. And you shall not bring near the bread of your God from the hand of a son of a stranger, or any of these, for their corruption is in them. They are blemished, and they are not acceptable for you. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, When an ox or lamb or goat is born, and when it has been 7 days under its dam, then from the 8th day and onward it is acceptable for an offering, a fire offering to Jehovah. But an ox or sheep, it and its young one, you shall not slaughter in 1 day. And when you sacrifice the sacrifice of thanksgiving to Jehovah, you shall sacrifice it of your free will. It shall be eaten on that day, and you shall not leave it until morning. I am Jehovah. And you shall keep my commandments and shall do them. I am Jehovah. And you shall not profane my holy name, and I shall be counted holy among the sons of Israel. I am Jehovah, who is sanctifying you, who is bringing you up out of the land of Egypt to become your God. I am Jehovah. Chapter 23 of Leviticus. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, and you shall say to them the appointed seasons of Jehovah, which you shall proclaim. Holy gatherings shall be these. These are my appointed seasons. Work is to be done 6 days, and in the 7th day shall be a Sabbath of rest, a holy gathering. You shall do no work. It is a Sabbath to Jehovah in all your dwellings. These are appointed seasons of Jehovah, holy gatherings which you shall proclaim in their appointed seasons. In the 1st month, on the 14th of the month, between the evenings, is the Passover to Jehovah. And on the 15th of this month is the feast of unleavened bread to Jehovah. You shall eat unleavened things 7 days. On the first day you shall have a holy gathering. You shall do no work of service, and you shall bring near a fire offering to Jehovah 7 days. And the seventh day shall be a holy gathering. You shall do no work of service. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, and you shall say to them, When you come into the land which I am given to you, and have reaped its harvest, and have brought in the sheaf, the bringing of your harvest to the priest, then he shall wave the sheaf before Jehovah for your acceptance. On the morrow of the Sabbath the priest shall wave it, and you shall prepare a lamb in the day you wave the sheaf, a perfect one, a son of a year, for a burnt offering to Jehovah. And its food offering shall be 2/10 parts of flour mixed with oil, a fire offering to Jehovah, a sweet fragrance, and its drink offering, a fourth of a hin of wine. And you shall not eat bread and roasted grain and fresh ears until this self same day, until you have brought the offering of your God. It is a never-ending statute throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And you shall number to you from the next day after the Sabbath, from the day you bring in the sheaf of the wave offering, they shall be 7 perfect Sabbaths. To the next day after the 7th Sabbath, you shall number 50 days, and you shall bring near a new food offering to Jehovah. You shall bring in bread out of your dwellings for a wave offering, 2 loaves. They shall be of 2/10 parts of flour. They shall be baked with leaven. First fruits to Jehovah. And besides the bread, you shall offer 7 lambs, perfect ones, sons of a year, and 1 bullock and a son of the herd, and 2 rams. They are a burnt offering to Jehovah, with their food offering and their drink offering, a fire offering of sweet fragrance to Jehovah. And you shall offer 1 he-goat for a sin offering, and 2 lambs, son of a year, for a sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them beside the bread of the first fruits, a wave offering before Jehovah. Besides the 2 lambs, they are holy to Jehovah for the priest. And you shall make a proclamation on this same day. It is a holy gathering to you. You shall do no work of service. It is a never-ending statute in all your dwellings throughout your generations. And when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not completely reap the corner of your field, nor shall you gather the gleaning of your harvest. You shall leave them for the poor and for the alien. I am Jehovah your God. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, on the 1st of the month, you shall have a Sabbath, a memorial acclamation, a holy gathering. You shall do no work of service, and you shall bring a fire offering to Jehovah. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Also on the 10th of this 7th month shall be a day of atonement. You shall have a holy gathering, and you shall humble yourselves, and shall bring a fire offering to Jehovah. And you shall do no work in this same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make atonement for you before Jehovah your God. For any person who is not humbled in this same day shall be cut off from his people. And any person who does any work in this same day, I shall even destroy that person from the midst of his people. You shall do no work. It is a never-ending statute throughout your generations. In all your dwellings it is a Sabbath of rest to you, and you shall humble yourselves in the 9th of the month at evening. From evening until evening you shall keep your Sabbath. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, saying, In the 15th day of this 7th month shall be a feast of booths, 7 days to Jehovah. On the first day shall be a holy gathering. You shall do no work of service, even days. You shall bring a fire offering to Jehovah. On the 8th day you shall have a holy gathering, and you shall burn the fire offering to Jehovah. It is a solemn assembly. You shall do no work of service. These are the set feasts of Jehovah, which you shall proclaim holy gatherings, to bring a fire offering to Jehovah, a burnt offering, and a food offering, a sacrifice and a drink offering, the thing of a day on its own day, besides the Sabbaths of Jehovah, and besides your gifts, and besides all your freewill offerings, which you shall give to Jehovah. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when you gather in the increase of your land, you shall keep the feast of Jehovah 7 days. On the first day of a Sabbath, and on the 8th day a Sabbath. And you shall take to yourselves on the first day the fruit of majestic trees, palm branches, and boughs of oak trees, and willows of the brook, and shall rejoice before Jehovah your God 7 days. And you shall keep a feast to Jehovah 7 days in a year, a never-ending statute throughout your generations. In the 7th month you shall keep a feast. Keep it a feast. You shall live in booths 7 days. All who are home born in Israel shall live in booths, so that your generation shall know that I caused the sons of Israel to live in booths. When I brought them out of the land of Egypt, I am Jehovah your God. And Moses announced the appointed season of Jehovah to the sons of Israel. Leviticus chapter 24. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Command the sons of Israel, and they shall bring to you pure olive oil beaten for the light, to cause the light to burn continually outside the veil of the testimony in the tabernacle of the congregation. Aaron shall arrange it from evening until morning before Jehovah continually, a never-ending statute throughout your generations. He shall arrange the lamps on the pure lampstand before Jehovah continually. And you shall take flour, and shall bake 12 cakes with it. 2/10 shall be in the one cake, and you shall set them in 2 rows, 6 on a row, on the pure table before Jehovah. And you shall put pure frankincense on the row, and it shall be the bread of a memorial, a fire offering to Jehovah. On each Sabbath day he shall arrange it before Jehovah continually, for the sons of Israel, a never-ending covenant. And it shall belong to Aaron and to his sons, and they shall eat it in the holy place, for it is most holy to him, from the fire offerings of Jehovah, a never-ending statute. And the son of an Israelite woman, and he, a son of an Egyptian man, went out among the sons of Israel. And the son of the woman of Israel and a man of Israel struggled together in the camp. And the son of the woman of Israel blasphemed the name, and cursed. And they brought him into Moses, and his mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Dibri, of the tribe of Dan, and they put him under guard, that it might be declared to them at the mouth of Jehovah. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Bring out the reviler to the outside of the camp. And all those who heard shall lay their hands on his head, and all the congregation shall stone him. And you shall say to the sons of Israel, saying, When any man curses his God, then he shall bear his sin. And he who blasphemes the name of Jehovah shall certainly be put to death. All the congregation shall certainly cast stones at him. As to the alien, so to a native. When he blasphemes the name, he is put to death. And a man, when he strikes the life from any man, he shall surely be put to death. And he who smites an animal to death shall make it good, body for body. And when a man causes a blemish in his neighbor, as he has done, so it shall be done to him. Break for break, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he has caused a blemish in a man, so it shall be done to him. And he who smites an animal to death shall repay it. And he who smites a man to death shall be put to death. One judgment shall be for you, whether an alien or a native, for I am Jehovah your God. And Moses spoke to the sons of Israel, and they brought the reviler to the outside of the camp and stoned him with stones. And the sons of Israel did as Jehovah had commanded Moses. Chapter 25 of Leviticus. And Jehovah spoke to Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, and you shall say to them, When you come into the land which I am giving to you, then the land shall keep a Sabbath to Jehovah. You shall sow your field 6 years, and you shall prune your vineyard 6 years, and shall gather its produce. And in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest to the land, a Sabbath to Jehovah. You shall not sow your field, and you shall not prune your vineyard. You shall not reap that which grows of itself of your harvest. And you shall not gather the grapes of your unkept vine. It shall be a year of rest to the land. And the Sabbath of the land shall be to you for food, to you and to your male slave and to your female slave, and to your hired one and to your tenant, those who are living with you, and to your livestock and to the beast which is in your land. All the produce of it shall be for food. And you shall number to yourselves 7 Sabbaths of years, 7 years times 7. And all the days of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be to you 49 years. And you shall cause an alurim, the ram's horn, to pass over in the 7th month. And in the 10th of the month, in the day of atonement, shall pass over a ram's horn throughout all your land. And you shall make holy the 50th year. And you shall proclaim liberty in the land to all its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee to you. And you shall return every man to his possession. Yea, you shall turn back each to his family. It is a jubilee. The 50th year, it is a year to you. You shall not sow nor reap that which grows of itself, nor gather from its unkept vines, for it is a jubilee. It is holy to you. You shall eat its increase out of the field. In the year of jubilee, you shall return each one to his possession. And if you sell anything to your neighbor or buy from the hand of your neighbor, you shall not each man oppress his brother. By the number of years after the Jubilee, you shall buy from your neighbor. By the number of the years of increase, he shall sell to you. According to the many years, you shall multiply its price. And by the fewness of the years, you shall diminish its price. For he is selling to you the number of crops. And you shall not oppress each man his neighbor, and you shall fear your God, for I am Jehovah your God. And you shall do my statutes, and you shall keep my judgments, and shall do them. And you shall live on the land securely. And the land shall give its fruit, and you shall eat to satisfaction. And you shall dwell securely on it. And when you say, what shall we eat in the 7th year? For lo, we may not sow, nor gather our increase. Then I have commanded my blessing on you in the 6th year. And it shall produce the increase for 3 years. And you shall sow the 8th year, and shall eat of the old crop until the 9th year, until the coming in of its crops. You shall eat of the old, and the land shall not be sold in perpetuity. For the land is mine, for you are aliens and tenants with me. And you shall grant a redemption for the land in all the land of your possessions. If your brother has become poor and has sold his possessions, then his kinsman redeemer shall come, and he shall redeem the thing his brother sold. But when a man has no redeemer, and his own hand has reached out, and he has enough for its redemption, then he shall count the years since its sale, and shall give back the surplus to the man to whom he sold, and he shall return to his possession. And if his hand has not found enough to give back to him, then the thing he sold shall be bought in the hand of him who buys it until the year of Jubilee. And it shall go out in the Jubilee, and he shall return to his possession. And when a man sells a dwelling house in a walled city, then his right of redemption shall be the end of the year from its selling date. His right of redemption shall be a year of days. And if it is not redeemed until a full year is complete, then the house in the walled city shall be established to perpetuity to its buyer throughout its generations. It shall not out in the Jubilee, but the house or houses of the villages which have no walls all around shall be counted as the field of the country. It may be redeemed, and it shall go out in the Jubilee. As to the cities of the Levites, houses of the cities of their possession, the Levites shall have never-ending redemption. And that which is redeemed from the Levites, both the sale of a house and the city of his possession, shall go out in the Jubilee. For the houses of the cities of the Levites are their possession in the midst of the sons of Israel. And the field, the open land of their city shall not be sold, for it is a never-ending possession to them. And when your brother has become poor and his hand has failed with you, then you shall uphold him. He shall live with you as an alien and a tenant. You shall take no interest from him or increase, and you shall fear your God. And the life of your brother is with you. You shall not give money to him with interest, and you shall not give your food for increase. I am Jehovah your God, who has brought you out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan to become your God. And when your brother becomes poor with you, and he has been sold to you, you shall not lay on him the service of a slave. He shall be with you as a hireling, as a tenant. He shall serve with you until the year of Jubilee. Then he shall go out from you, he and his sons with him, and shall return to his family. He shall even return to the possession of his father, for they are my servants, whom I have brought out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold with the sale of a slave. You shall not rule over them with severity, and you shall fear your God. And your male slave and your female slave, whom you have from the nations, who are all around you, you shall buy them as male slave or female slave, and also you may buy of the sons of the tenants who are sojourning with you, and of their families who are with you, which they have fathered in your land. And they shall be a possession to you, and you shall take them for inheritance to your sons after you, to hold for a possession. You may lay service on them forever, but on your brothers, the sons of Israel, one over another. You shall not rule over him with severity. And if lifts up a hand of an alien or tenant with you, and your brother grows poor with him, and he sells himself to an alien, a tenant with you, or to the offshoot of the family of an alien, after he has been sold, there is a redemption to him. One of his brothers may redeem him, or his uncle or a son of his uncle may redeem him, or any of his fleshly relations of his family may redeem him. If his own hand has reached out to gain, then he may be redeemed. And he shall count with his buyer from the year of his being sold to him unto the year of jubilee. And the silver of his sale shall be by the number of years, and the days of a hireling it shall be with him. If there are yet many years, according to them he shall give back his redemption from the silver of his purchase. And if few are left of the years till the year of jubilee, then he shall count with him according to his years, he shall give back his redemption price. As a hireling, year by year, he shall be with him, and he shall not rule him with severity before your eyes. And if he is not redeemed in this way, then he shall go out in the year of jubilee, he and his sons with him. For the sons of Israel are servants to me. They are my servants, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am Jehovah your God. Chapter 26. You shall not make idols to yourself, and you shall not set up for yourselves graven images or a memorial pillar. And you shall not place any stone image in your land, to bow yourself to it, for I am Jehovah your God. You shall keep my Sabbaths and revere my holy place. I am Jehovah. If you walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, then I will give you rains in their seasons, and the land shall yield her produce, and the tree of the field shall give its fruit, and your threshing shall overtake the vintage. And the vintage shall overtake the sowing time, and you shall eat your bread until you have enough, and live in your land securely. And I will give peace in the land, and you shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid. And I shall cause evil beasts to cease out of the land, and the sword shall not pass over or into your land. And you shall pursue your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. And 5 of you shall pursue 100, and 100 of you shall pursue a myriad, and your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. And I shall turn my face toward you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and shall establish my covenant with you. And you shall eat very old provision, and clear away the old because of the new. And I will set my tabernacle in your midst, and my soul shall not loathe you. And I shall walk always in your midst, and shall be God to you. And you shall be my people to me. I am Jehovah your God, who has brought you out of the land of the Egyptians from being their slaves, and I will break the bars of your yoke and cause you to stand erect. And if you will not listen to me and do not do all these commands, and if you reject my statutes, and if your soul hates my judgments, so as not to do all my commands, to the breaking of my covenant, I will do this to you also. And I shall appoint terror over you, the burning fever, destroying the eyes and consuming the soul. And you shall sow your seed in vain, and your enemies will eat it. And I shall set my face against you, and you shall be smitten before your enemies, and those hating you shall rule over you, and you will flee, and no one will be pursuing you. And if after these things you will not listen to me, then I will chastise you 7 times more for your sin. And I will break the pride of your strength, and will make your heavens as iron, and your earth as bronze, and your strength shall be consumed in vain. And your land shall not give her produce, and the tree of the land shall not give its fruit. And if you walk contrary to me, and are not willing to listen to me, then I will bring 7 times more plagues on you according to your sins, and send against you the beast of the field, and it shall bereave you. And I shall cut off your livestock, and shall make you few, and shall cause your ways to become desolate. And if you are not instructed by me by these things, and shall walk contrary to me, then I also shall walk contrary to you, and shall smite you, even I, 7 times more for your sins. And I will bring a sword on you, executing the vengeance of the covenant, and you shall be gathered to your cities. And I shall send pestilence among you, and you will be given into the hand of an enemy. When I break the staff of bread to you, 10 women will bake your bread in one oven, and will give back your bread by weight, and you shall eat and not be satisfied. And if you will not do this for me and shall walk contrary to me, then I also will walk contrary to you in fury. I also will chastise you, I also 7 times for your sins. And you shall eat of the flesh of your sons, and you shall eat of the flesh of your daughters. And I shall destroy your high places and cut down your altars, and shall put your dead bodies on the carcasses of your idols. And my soul shall loathe you, and I shall make your cities a waste, and shall make your sanctuaries desolate. And I shall not smell your sweet fragrances. And I shall make the land desolate, and your enemies who are living in it shall be astonished at it. And I will scatter you among nations, and shall draw out the sword after you. And your land shall become a waste, and your cities shall be a desolation. Then the land shall enjoy its Sabbaths all the days of the desolation. And you shall be in the land of your enemies. Then the land shall enjoy rest, and shall enjoy its Sabbaths. It shall rest all the days of the desolation, that which it has not rested in your Sabbaths while you lived on it. And those who are left of you, I shall also bring a faintness into their heart in the lands of their enemies, and the sound of a driven leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee as one flees from the sword. And they shall fall when no one pursues, and they shall stumble upon one another, and if it were before the sword, when no one pursues. And you shall have no power to stand before your enemies, and you shall perish among the nations. And the land of your enemies shall devour you, and of those who are left of you, they shall purify in their petrify, not purify, petrify, like putrid, in their iniquity. In the lands of your enemies, and also in the iniquities of their fathers, they shall putrefy with them. And if they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers and their trespasses with which they have trespassed against me, and also that they have walked contrary to me, I also walked contrary to them, and I brought them into the land of their enemies. And if their uncircumcised heart is then humbled, and then they have paid for their iniquity, then I will remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac. And I shall also remember my covenant with Abraham, and I shall remember the land. For the land shall be forsaken by them, and shall enjoy its Sabbaths in the desolation without them. And they shall enjoy their iniquity, because they have kicked against my judgments, and their soul has loathed my statutes. And yet for all that, when they are in the land of their enemies, I will not reject them, nor will I hate them, to consume them, to break my covenant with them, for I am Jehovah their God. Then I shall remember for them the covenant of the first fathers, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the nations, that I might be their God. I am Jehovah. These are the statutes and the judgments and the laws which Jehovah has given between him and the sons of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. Chapter 27 of Leviticus. And Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, and you shall say to them, When a man makes a difficult vow by your evaluation, the person shall be Jehovah's. And your evaluation shall be of the males from a son of 20 years even until a son of 60 years. Then your evaluation shall be 50 shekels of silver by the shekel of the sanctuary. And if it is a female, then your evaluation shall be 30 shekels. And if from a son of 5 years to a son of 20 years, then your evaluation shall be 20 shekels for the male and 10 shekels for the female. And if a son of a month, even to a son of 5 years, then your evaluation shall be 5 shekels of silver for the male and 3 shekels of silver for the female. And if from a son of 60 years and above, if a male, then your evaluation shall be 15 shekels, and for a female 10 shekels. But if he is too poor for your evaluation, then he shall be made to stand before the priest, and the priest shall value him. The priest shall value him according to the reach of him who vowed. And if it is an animal of which they bring an offering to Jehovah, all that one gives of it to Jehovah is holy. He shall not replace it or change it, a good for a bad, or a bad for a good. And if he shall at all change animal for animal, then both it and that for which it is changed shall be holy. And if any unclean animal of which they may not bring an offering to Jehovah, then he shall make stand the animal before the priest, and the priest shall value it whether it is good or bad. As you the priest value it, so it shall be. But if he really redeems it, then he shall add its fifth to your evaluation. And when a man sanctifies his house as a holy thing to Jehovah, then the priest shall value it, whether good or bad. As the priest values it, so it shall stand. And if he who is sanctifying shall redeem the house, then he shall add a fifth of the silver of its valuation, and it shall become his. And if a man sanctifies a field of his property to Jehovah, then your valuation shall be according to its seed, a homer of barley seed at 50 shekels of silver. If he shall sanctify his field from year of jubilee, it shall stand according to your evaluation. And if he shall sanctify his field after the jubilee, then the priest shall count to him the silver according to the years which are left to the year of jubilee, and it shall be deducted from your estimation. And if the one sanctifying the field really will redeem it, then he shall add a fifth of the silver of your evaluation to it, and it shall rise to become his. And if he does not redeem the field, or if he has sold the field to another man, it is not to be redeemed any more. And the field shall be holy to Jehovah when it goes out in the jubilee, as a field that is devoted. It shall be a possession to the priest. And if he should devote a field of his purchase, which is not of the fields of his possession, then the priest shall count to him the amount of the evaluation to the year of the jubilee. And he shall give your evaluation in that day, a holy thing to Jehovah. In the year of the jubilee, the field shall return to him from whom he bought it, to him who owns it in the land. And all your evaluation shall be by the shekel of the sanctuary. 20 gerahs shall be the shekel. However, no man shall dedicate a firstling, which is firstborn to Jehovah among the animals. Whether ox or sheep, it is Jehovah's. And if among the unclean animals, then he shall ransom it at your evaluation, and he shall add its 50 to it. And if it is not redeemed, then it shall be sold at your evaluation. But any devoted thing which a man devotes to Jehovah, from all which belongs to him, or man, or of animal, or of the field of his possession, it shall not be sold nor redeemed. Every one devoted to Jehovah is most holy. No devoted thing which is dedicated by man shall be ransomed. It shall surely be put to death. And all the tithe of the land, of the seed of the land, of the fruit of the tree, shall be Jehovah's. It is holy to Jehovah. If a man at all redeems any of his tithes, he shall add its fifth to it. And all the tithe of the herd and of the flock, all that passes under the rod, a tenth shall be holy to Jehovah. He shall not search between good or bad, nor shall he change it. And if he at all changes it, then it shall be. And its substitute shall be holy. It shall not be redeemed. These are the commands which Jehovah commanded Moses for the sons of Israel on Mount Sinai.